All right, hello. I wanted to put together a quick video on a project I'm working on. I have a great computer here. I have this art business and I'm making fantastic art like this for my customers. But I have a problem. My hard drive is very slow. It only goes 134 megabytes per second, so slow. I need something a little bit faster than this so I can make fantastic art like this better. So I decided that I'm going to upgrade my hard drive to a solid state drive, but I didn't know how to do that. So I reached out to a friend of mine and he told me about this adapter. So if I buy the solid state drive and then I get this little USB to SATA adapter here, then I can connect the solid state drive to my computer that has the hard drive and I can clone the data over. So I'm going to show you how that works. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you that I only have one hard drive on this computer. And I can even verify that if I go into disk. Right here where you create and format disk partitions. In disk management, you can see which disks are connected, or at least which disks Windows will see. And currently it only sees the one, just where Windows lives. And that's a problem. I need to connect my new one. But as I said, I picked up the drive and I also picked up this adapter here. Now my drive is actually a Samsung drive. So I'm going to plug that in, my new Samsung drive. And it's in this USB adapter. So I'm going to connect that now. And if I close these folders, and I expand, oh, now I have this new SSD that just showed up. And here in disk management, you can see that as well. It's this new SSD is here. Now, normally you could just start the clone program, but I've noticed that a couple times it will fail if you don't have BitLocker turned off. Windows likes to protect your computer with that. So we'll go into BitLocker. And I like to make sure that BitLocker is off. So my Windows 10 does not have BitLocker. If BitLocker is on, then you won't be able to clone your hard drive. So now it's time to move over and run your migration. So I'm going to open up the data migration software. And by the way, you can pick this up from the Seagate or the Samsung website. So Samsung data migration. You search for that. You go to the Samsung website. You have to scroll down. And it's data migration for consumers. And it's right here. This is the software, not the Chinese one, this one right here. This is what I use, version 4. So you can download this yourself. And this is exactly what I'm going to show. So I'm going to say yes on this. And hopefully, this will see both drives. So I'm going to migrate data from the source, which is this 500 gig drive, onto a target drive, which is my Samsung drive. And this is going to say that, oh, I'm going from a 500 gig drive down to a 230, but I really don't have a whole lot of used data. So I'm just going to hit start. And it says it's going to shut it down afterwards. Is that okay? And I say yes. And this is going to start copying the data. So I'm going to pause this until it's making a bit more progress. And I'll show you what it looks like. All right, so after a couple minutes, it started showing some progress, and I want to show you another way to look at that progress. So if you go into Task Manager, if you just right-click down here in this gray area and click on Task Manager, and you go into Performance, and you double-click on CPU, you'll get this kind of cool little chart that you can kind of slide over to the side. And then you can see that your hard drive is doing some activity, and disk 1 over USB is also getting some activity. So we can also see that this is going on, and it's not very fast because I'm going over some slow USB ports, and that's fine. So I'm going to pause this video and come back to it in a little while, and we'll see what sort of progress we're making. Okay, so this is almost done cloning the data. It's been a little over 8 minutes, and it says it's 73%. It's been 8 minutes 12. It's thinking that it'll be done around 11 minutes. So I'm going to pause the video, and I will resume this with once I've swapped the drive. So this is going to turn the computer off. I'm going to open up the computer. I'm going to remove the current hard drive from the computer, going to install the SSD drive that's currently on the outside of the computer through the USB adapter that I showed earlier. So this is going to require a little bit of work. You're going to want to do that with the computer all disconnected from power. If this is a laptop, you're going to want to disconnect the battery before you do that. Once you put everything back together again, connect the new hard drive where the previous was. You should turn it on, and we'll resume the video from that point. Okay, I wanted to show that I have now migrated the data. So I did use the Samsung migration software. I migrated it over. My computer turned off just as expected. I swapped the hard drives, plugged it back in, turned it back on. In disk management, there's only one hard drive in there now. It only sees the one, and it's now called Windows 10. It's not called new SSD anymore. Everything was migrated over. If I go to my files, I still have Steve, which is my masterpiece. I still have my desktop background, which was important. But when I reran my performance test, my numbers were all higher. This is an older computer, so hey, 200 megabytes a second is not bad. 188 IOPS, I'm still happy with that, but my random 4K and everything else went pretty big. So I'm very happy with these numbers because this for me is an improvement. So if you have an SSD that you're looking to swap out, the process is not difficult. It just takes an adapter, some time, and a couple checks. So hopefully you found this helpful, and have a great day.